Have you ever noticed that the worst bosses live in extremes? One minute they're bulldozers, shoving, screaming, steamrolling over people, and the next, they vanish. Ghosts who duck tough conversations and just leave their people exposed. Here's the thing, both those leaders destroy trust. One leaves bodies in their wake, and the other leaves their team unprotected. But the killer is both of them think they're leading. But the best bosses, they walk the razor's edge. They know when to push their team and when to shield them. They fight for standards, but without breaking their people. And they protect their team from chaos, but without smothering them. Because absolutely, they're able to walk and in the same breath, they're able to carry confidence and humility. And that's what makes them great bosses. And that balance is one of the hardest things. It's the dividing line between those leaders who burn their people out and those elite operators who people will follow them anywhere. I'm Chris Hunsicker, and this is the Dealership War Room. Leadership Fire, 7 minutes, built daily, fueled intentionally, and delivered relentlessly. And today, we're going to dive into that fine line between power and protection. And I've created what I call leadership fire guides. For each one of these episodes, I've created a fire guide, which is it's an execution ninja journal. It basically teaches you how to take everything we're talking about in these podcasts and do them in your dealership today. And if you really would like to get a fire guide, go ahead and text to the number on the screen, and we will get you a PDF 2-page version of a fire guide to show you exactly how to start implementing today's thoughts, ideas, tools, and standards in your dealership today. So let's dive in on how can you start really finding that line between power and protection. So let's go deeper into Dr. Sutton's 12 beliefs of a good boss. And yesterday we talked a lot about mindset. Today, let's dive deeper into power and how you carry it and how you wield it. Belief number 4 is one of the most important and one of the most difficult. And it's finding the ability to strike that balance between being too assertive and not assertive enough. My guess is you've also struggled with that balance because we all do. How do you know when you're being too assertive and when you're not being assertive enough? And if you're like most of the managers I coached, this has come up pretty much every single day of your leadership career. This is the daily battle for you. You push too hard and your team shuts down. But if you pull back, your standards all collapse. Have you been here? The truth that I've seen in nearly every manager that I've ever coached is this, that most managers don't fail because of lack of talent. They fail because at some point they lean too far into one or the other of the extremes. Assertiveness is like seasoning in a meal. Too much salt and you ruin the meal. Too little salt and it's flat. Great operators, great leaders, they learn to constantly be adjusting the mix of salt, the mix of seasoning, so that they get the flavor just right, that meal, that day, that time. Belief number 5, my job as a leader is to serve as a human shield for my people. This one separates leaders people endure from leaders people love. Think about it. Your salespeople, your service advisors, your technicians, they already face daily chaos, angry customers, unreasonable demands, corporate mandates. And if you just let that rain down on them, you're not leading, you're dumping. Great bosses take the hits, filter the noise, absorb the nonsense, and keep their people focused. And here's the kicker. It's not about shielding your team from outsiders. Sometimes the biggest distraction, the biggest idiocy is you. The moods, the reactivity, the micromanagement. Great bosses know that one of their primary jobs is to shield their people from their own worst impulses. So I'd ask you, for you, what are some of the worst impulses that you know you need to start shielding your people from? That's how you turn insights into action, right there. Belief number 6, and this is one of my favorites, for myself as a leader, I would come back to this all the time. Belief number 6 is this: I strive to be confident enough that my people know that I'm in charge, but humble enough to know that I'm often going to be wrong. This is the paradox of leadership. If you show up too timid, no one will follow you. And if you show up too arrogant, no one will trust you. Both are an element. You have to be combined. So when you have confidence without humility, you get arrogance. But when you have humility without confidence, it turns into insecurity. But when you carry both, your team believes in your strength and they know they can trust your character. They know that you're steering the ship, but you have the humility to admit when you need to change course. Put these 3 together, and here's the picture. Great bosses, elite operators are both the shield and the sword. They push and they protect. They fight for standards, but they protect their people. And they're able to steadily walk that tightrope between tyrants and the ghosts who fail. Here's your execution bridge for the day. Here's how we're going to turn insight into action. And I call this the sword and shield check, right? Follows for what we're doing. And it comes down to asking yourself these 3 questions every single day. Question number 1 is the shield question. Today, did I protect my people from one distraction, intrusion, or piece of idiocy, even if it was from me? Question 2 is the sword question. And this may be one of the most important. And it asks this: at the end of the day, ask yourself this question: did I insert myself clearly today in one place where standards mattered? And answer honestly. And question 3 is the balance question. Today, did I admit one place where I was wrong, or at least be open to the possibility that I was wrong? Now, just write down your answers, but don't hide from them. If you missed one or failed to do one, great. Lean into that. Don't hide from it. Make that your target for tomorrow. Now, this is the great secret. This right here is how you become steadier as a leader, become more consistent, ramp up your influence so that you literally have more power and influence in everything you do. And it's not through some grand speech. It's through daily balance checks. This is the key to everything. Your team, they don't need a leader who's a bulldozer or a ghost. They need a leader who's both shield and sword. They want someone, an elite operator, who is strong enough to lead, humble enough to listen, and steady enough to protect. And I invite you to please do the shield and the sword check tonight. And be honest in your audit, brutally honest if you have to. If you want some bonus coverage, go ahead and do this at home too. Where in your home life do you need a little more shield? And where in your home life do you need a little more sword? And how are you going to bring that exact right balance to your home life, just like you do at work? And then tomorrow, we're going to dive into mistakes, innovation, and what really happens when things go wrong. So for today, go out, create some leadership fire by knowing exactly when to bring out the shield and exactly when to bring out the sword. And I'll see you tomorrow in the Dealership War Room.